Baldur's Gate 3 Patch 7 release date, latest news. Well, the Patch 7 closed beta was set to begin today, but while preparing the build for you, we were once more humbled by the classic lesson taught to every game dev while playing bug fix whack-a-mole. If you fix one bug over here, another one might still pop up over there. This happened with one of the fixes we wanted to introduce in Patch 7, which has caused passive roles to stop working. We're trying to figure out how we got here, so while we do that, we'll be pushing the closed beta back to later this week. On the plus side, if you haven't yet registered for your chance to take part in the beta, you still have time. You can register to be randomly selected by visiting the Baldur's Gate 3 store page on Steam. The patch will fix several annoying bugs, including Jaheira's unwillingness to follow the group and jump into combat, Wyll's less-than-romantic greetings, as well as the mysteriously disappearing narrator lines from the Gortash and Dark Urge confrontation. Highlights: introducing evil endings, brand new cinematic endings for the truly villainous playthroughs. Added our very own mod manager, which lets you browse, install, and use mods created by the community. Revamped split-screen gameplay. When playing on split-screen, the two halves of the screen will now dynamically merge together when player characters come close to each other in-game, and dynamically split back up when the characters move apart. This revamp comes alongside many other improvements and polishes to improve the overall split-screen experience.
Honor mode combat.
If Drawer Ragslin finds himself inside the spider pit, he'll try his best to befriend the spiders residing there with a new spell called Arachnid Compulsion, so they can band together to fight the real enemy, you. The Bulette has a new condition called Diamond Scales and a new legendary action called Shredding Scales. Malice Thorm has a new legendary action called Grasping Appendage. Added a new aura and spell for spectators, Panicked Sentinel and Ocular Nightmare, respectively. Sichariite's Gone, the leader of the Githyanki ambush in Act 2, has a new legendary action called Soul Sacrifice. Sichariai Harak, the Githyanki leader at the Knights of the Shield hideout, has a new legendary action called Tunaratha's Embrace. Taurus has a new legendary action called Tarian Dogma. UI revised and reorganized the in-game video options to be more logical and robust. You now have an upscaling type dropdown, an upscaling mode dropdown, and an upscaling sharpness slider, followed immediately by the options that are affected by them. Updated the reactions UI so that you only have to toggle the reactions you want to use and then confirm them. This saves you from having to select Do Not React multiple times. Added a new equipment options menu to the character sheet on controller. The panel that opens to donate magic items to Gale will now also show items in your traveler's chest. It also now indicates which items are currently equipped. We notice some of you hiccuping bubbles, so the action for washing yourself with soap and sponges is now called Use instead of Consume. Fixed your player character's name getting reverted to Custom during character creation if you moved on to create your Dream Guardian and then went back to edit the player character again. Fix the wrong spell ability showing up when selecting a feat during level up.
Art.
Added a new loading screen in Act 3, showing the busy streets of Baldur's Gate. Fix the skirt part of the adamantine splint armor, missing for female dwarves. Fix the adamantine scale mail clipping on large male characters. Gameplay. You can now start custom mode games using honor mode mechanics when starting a new playthrough. You'll be able to do this via the rule set dropdown. The Quatoa that promised to build you an army will now support you in the final battle, unless they all died in Act 1. The help that the Gondians promised for the final battle will now arrive in the form of a friendly Steel Watcher. Apologies from Zonar Tubin for the delay. The hair color options in character creation will now remain accessible after you choose the bald hairstyle, so that you can continue fiddling around with eyebrow colors. Overhead dialogues that support multiple player characters can now involve characters assigned to different players. They were limited to characters controlled by a single player until now. This means that there will be more banter among player characters in multiplayer games. Group hide will no longer affect summons that aren't linked to the group in the party line. Change the behavior for selecting camp supplies for a long rest. When selecting camp supplies that are stacked, the game now only takes what it needs from the stack. You can no longer cheese the Leap of Faith trial at the Gauntlet of Shar by just clicking the final platform and letting your character pathfind their way there. Shar threatened to smite us, if we didn't fix this one. Fixed a bug where resurrecting Lae'zel on the beach in Act I would cause her to appear in the party line but not in the world, preventing you from leaving Act 1. Patched up some save games where Gale still had his necrotic aura when he shouldn't unload. Fixed Minthra's body sometimes, turning invisible on the level up screen. We sorta liked the floating head and hands look, but hey. Animation. Astarion now has idle animations at camp that aren't just him reading a book. Added a new idle animation for Minsk at camp. Boo may or may not have taught him some Tai Chi. Karlach will no longer brush the shaved side of her head. Polish the appearance of neck kisses in lovey-dovey scenes with Shadowheart on the Sharen path for characters with large body types and dragonborn characters.